I think we are live. If you are here, let me know in the comments so I can make sure that I am seeing everyone. But welcome to You 2.0 Day 1. This is super exciting, and I'm so glad you guys are all here. A little bit about me before we get into it. Hi, I see people coming in. Welcome. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Where in the world are you? Are you sipping coffee? Are you drinking tea? Okay, there we go. I see you guys now. Let's see. We got Summer Rose. We got someone from Florida. Okay, I'm using this platform called StreamYard. And so I think you have to grant permission. We were trying to figure this out before. We got Anne. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, let me know where you're tuning in from, what you got going on. I have my coffee right here, and I'm really excited. Okay, so we'll let people continue to come in. Good morning from Germany. Holy cow, Guten Morgen. Welcome. Fort Lauderdale. We got another Florida, Omaha. Washington State, having coffee, getting ready for work. From Mississippi, drinking tea in Pennsylvania. Love it. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I'm so glad everyone is here. Last time I checked, we have almost 4,000 of you signed up for this challenge, which is amazing. Jasmine from Charlotte. I'm from Charlotte. What's up? Okay, coffee and planner. Let's do it. Virginia. Oh my gosh, there's so many of you. This is awesome. Okay, so bear with me as I'm figuring out this technology, but welcome to You 2.0. My name is Jess, and I'm going to be your host for the duration of this challenge. A little bit about me, and then we're going to get into some housekeeping, and then I'll go into our topic for today, but we're going to keep these short and sweet because that's just the way that I like to roll. But let's see. So I am living in Raleigh, North Carolina, but I actually live full-time in an Airstream trailer. If you've been on my Instagram, you know that I live in an Airstream with my husband, who, it's kind of funny, he's 6'5". He used to play football, so anything he does in the Airstream is straight out of a scene from Elf, which is hilarious. And we have our 70-pound dog, Ollie, that we travel around with. I am the founder of Headbands of Hope, which is the story that I'm going to tell you guys today, and now founder of Bright Pages, which you guys are all using, which I'm so excited about. Author of Chasing the Bright Side. It came out last year with HarperCollins. I kind of somewhat joke that it came out right before a global pandemic, so the world needed some optimism. So that was pretty well aligned with when my book released. And now host of Business on the Bright Side podcast, which I've been having a lot of fun doing so far. Okay, so let's see. Let's jump right into some housekeeping. And then at the end, I am going to do some Q&A. So if you guys have questions, Kathy is going to be in the chat on Facebook. Say what's up, Kathy. And she'll be responding to you, but then I'll also pull your questions up here at the end. So first things first, check your inbox. You guys should have gotten an email from me yesterday, or if you just signed up, you would have gotten that email automatically with your Bright Pages login. So Bright Pages is my guided online journal that I created this year for doers and creators. I realized myself, along with probably a lot of other people, were experiencing a lot of mental clutter, anxiety, trying to think through their ideas, not really sure where to begin. And I found that 15 minutes a day of writing really helped me get that clarity I needed so I could create the things that I wanted to create. So that's what we're going to be using here in You 2.0. So you get actually a free month of Bright Pages just from signing up, but it's that special link that's going to be in your inbox. And then Kathy's also going to be putting it in the chat. So you'll be getting all of your daily prompts through Bright Pages. Another thing to note is that your Bright Pages journal is 100% private. So there's kind of two aspects to this challenge. You have your private online journal through Bright Pages, and then we have the public community that is all of the people who have signed up for this challenge that you can communicate with. So know that your journal and all of your writing within Bright Pages is totally private. But if there are things that you choose to share or things that you want to express, I saw a lot of you posting your 2021 words of the year, which I loved. That's what the community is here for. I think that's one of the cool parts about the digital world that we're living in right now, is we can still find those ways to connect with others. Okay. So another thing about how to respond to the prompts, you will have the prompt that changes every day within your Bright Pages app. And then it's right now it's just a web app. It's not a mobile app yet, but maybe it will be in the future. And then you'll also get a daily email. And so one of the cool things that we can do with Bright Pages is that you can either respond within the app or you can just reply via email. And I think one of the things I want to get out of the way is that a lot of times we think that journaling needs to be this hour-long practice with, a crackling fire in a log cabin with snow falling somewhere, which would be great if we could do that every day. But sometimes we're just on the go and it just really takes that 5 to 15 minutes of just a reset in order to get that clarity that we need. So you don't need to write a novel every day. If you want to, that's great, go for it. But even just a few sentences, a few paragraphs will do. And anyone who completes all 21 prompts on Bright Pages at the end of this will get a fun surprise from me. So just make sure that you're following the prompts each day. Like I said, even if it's short and sweet, I promise it will pay off. And if you're loving it, the first 500 people to sign up for Bright Pages for the year get 40% off their annual membership. So that's $29. So Kathy in the comments will pop that link in there. And that is for the first 500 people to sign up for Bright Pages. And then you saw in that intro video that Bright Pages has daily prompts, but we also have what we call prompt pathways. And we are the first journaling service to do this. So you can actually pick a goal or something that you want to focus on, whether it's writing a book, giving a speech, starting a business, or maybe just getting out of a creative rut, and pick a pathway and you'll get prompts based on whatever that is. So one of the things that I want to tell you a little bit more about the prompts, this isn't just your average prompt a day journaling challenge. Each prompt that you get during this challenge is designed to help you towards 3 things. So all of the prompts this week in week 1 are going to help you craft your personal mission statement. And so a lot of times when we think about mission statements, it's, we think about them with companies, we think about a core values or something like that with businesses that we love, but rarely do we give ourselves that same kind of clarity and that same kind of significance that we put on businesses. I know for so long I had a mission statement for Headbands of Hope, but I never had one for myself. And so this week we are going to use all of these questions to then on Friday put together your mission statement. So that's why it's important to answer the questions each day, even if it's just something short and sweet. So let's get into today's prompt. If you guys already answered today's prompt, let me know in the comments and let's do it. Okay. So today's prompt on Bright Pages, we're starting with the problem. What problem do you see in the world, your community, or your personal sphere of influence? And how do you uniquely want to solve that problem? So I think for a while, when you want to create something or do something, you think about what that thing is that you want to create. But really, we need to take a step back and look at the problem that we want to solve. So I thought, what better time to tell you about the problem that I wanted to solve, why I'm here today, 8 or 9 years later after doing it. So my story begins when I was in college. If you've ever been to Disney World, let me know in the chat because that's where my story starts. I was doing the Disney college program. I wish I could say I was like a princess or some character, but I actually tried out for those auditions. Did not go well. I'm not super coordinated, can't hold a beat or anything, but I did have some friends who did that. So I was actually a photo pass photographer. So if you've ever been to Disney World and you see people wanting to take your picture all the time, that was me. I worked in Hollywood studios and the Magic Kingdom, and I absolutely loved it. I got to take pictures of people from all over the world. I got to learn from this really cool company about how they operated. But my favorite thing that I got to do in Disney World was I got to take pictures of kids that were there on their wish through the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So if anyone's unfamiliar, Make-A-Wish grants wishes to kids with life-threatening illnesses. So going to Disney World was the most popular wish among Make-A-Wish kids. So I was the one that got to see them, seeing the castle for the first time or just having these super magical moments, meeting the princesses, and I was there to capture it on my camera. And it was probably just like the coolest part of my entire experience there was just to be this small part of their experience. And I was I was a freshman in college, and I started to think to myself, maybe our lives and these careers that we choose for ourselves doesn't have to be something where we clock in and clock out and get a paycheck every few weeks. It can be something that every day when our alarm goes off, we know that it matters that we're there. We know that it matters that we're showing up for something bigger than us. And so I got back to school my sophomore year, and I decided to apply for an internship at Make-A-Wish. And it's actually kind of funny story. When I applied for the Charlotte Make-A-Wish internship, they actually didn't have one. And they said, look, this is great, but we don't have an internship yet. And maybe you could just apply again next year once we've built something out, because we know that this is something that we want to do. And I was like, look, if you let me show up every day, I promise I will do something valuable for you. Let me lighten your burden. Let me do the things that no one else wants to do in the office. Like, there's no task too small for me to do. Just let me show up and be a part of this. And I will help you build this internship program that you want to build. And they were like, okay. So that's exactly what I did. I showed up each day, and I wasn't really doing the most glamorous things. I wasn't like organizing these huge events or, calling Taylor Swift or doing things that maybe you think you might be doing interning for Make-A-Wish. I was doing a lot of behind the scenes work, medical release forms, licking envelopes, cold calling people for money and getting hung up on most of the time. But it was the first time in my life where it didn't matter what I was doing in that moment, because I was so clearly connected to why I was doing it. Every single thing I did, I could draw a straight line to helping make a wish come true. And so I started to, it was towards the end of this internship, and the people at Make-A-Wish wanted to give me a little bit more responsibility, because they said I'd been working really hard, and they wanted me to have a little bit more responsibility and being a part of the wish. And so they assigned me a wish child, and I got to be the wish coordinator, which is basically like being the quarterback of a wish. And the girl that I had for her wish, her name was Renee, and she was 4 years old, and she wanted to go to Disney World, but specifically she wanted to go to Disney World to meet Sleeping Beauty. She was very clear about the terms of this agreement. It was like Sleeping Beauty or bust. And so I worked with her and her family to coordinate the trip. I worked with the parks to make sure that like Sleeping Beauty could be there for like all of their meals. And it was about a week or two before she was scheduled to go on her trip. And she started to have some symptoms flare up. And she started to get more sick. And so they decided to send her to the hospital, and they did some scans, and she had had a brain tumor. And up until that moment, she had been in this new trial, this new treatment plan that they thought had been working. And in this appointment, they realized that it hadn't, and that there was something that they had missed, and that her tumor had only started to grow. And they said that she was too sick to go on her wish, so she couldn't fly to Disney World, and she was too sick to drive, so they couldn't travel. And the worst part was they decided to just send her home, and they made this choice to focus on quality of life. And I remember being in the office that day and just thinking, this can't be the story that we tell ourselves. Like, this can't be it. Because we have these experiences in our life that we can't control. We can't control what the weather is outside. We can't control a global pandemic. We can't control, if our flight gets in on time. Those are all of our experiences. But our stories are how we internalize and respond to our experiences. So although we can't always control what happens, we can control the meaning that we give to it and what we do next. And in this knee-jerk reaction, I went onto Google and I looked up these local costume shops. And a few hours later, I arrived on her doorstep dressed as Sleeping Beauty and tried to make her wish come true that day. And I brought her this matching dress and this crown that said Princess Renee, and read her the story of Sleeping Beauty and spent the whole day with her and her family in character. She totally bought it. And that moment was one of the clearest before and after moments of my life. And I think that one of the things that sparked me that day was realizing that I wanted to use my time here and whatever talents that I've been given to build something that's bigger than me. That I wanted to be able to look back on all of like the connecting dots of my life and realize like because of her, I did this. I built something great. And one of the things that I noticed was girls like Renee who would lose their hair to chemotherapy, they'd always be offered a wig or they'd be given a hat. And a lot of them weren't really concerned with covering up their heads. They just wanted something to feel good about themselves after losing their hair to chemotherapy. So I would see them coming into the office wearing these adorable headbands. And I just thought, what a cool gesture of confidence that they come in just like wearing headbands and owning it. And I wish that, we were giving them headbands instead of like wigs, telling them to be someone that they're not. And so I went onto Google. Again, this is a common theme. I graduated from Google University, and I looked up companies or organizations or nonprofits that give headbands to kids with cancer, and I couldn't find any. And this is the moment that I want everyone to pause for a second, because this is something that I think changed the course of my life, is when you discover something that's a need and you can't find that right solution, then maybe it's your job to fill it. Because at the end of the day, entrepreneurship and creating things, whether it's a podcast, a blog, a speech, or a book, is really just about creating what you wish existed. There's so much frills that we put around startups and, best-selling books and all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, this is it. It's creating what you wish existed. So when it comes to your personal mission statement, it's really about zooming out, finding the problem, and how can you and your talents be that solution. And a lot of times when we think about the problem that we want to solve, sometimes we're too clouded because, we're either trying to think too hard, or we're not recognizing the problems when we're in the midst of it because we're so frustrated about it. But I like to call that inspiration from frustration. So take a moment. When was the last time you were frustrated about something? Maybe it's something that keeps happening. Maybe it's something that you've seen or witnessed or been a part of. Maybe it's inequality. Maybe it's even just the trash on the street. Sometimes when we're frustrated, that's the indicator that we could do something about it. Instead of seeing just the trash on the street, it's like, well, maybe there should be more trash cans out here, and how can I do something about it? So next time you're frustrated, maybe that's an indicator that you can be inspired to do something about it, because the value of the book, the speech, the product, the service that you're creating is the value of the problem that you're solving. Let that sink in for a second. The value of what you're creating is the value of the product that you're solving. So maybe a lot of you are here today or you're listening because you already have something in the works. Or maybe you're here today because you know that you were made for more, but you're not quite sure what that is yet. Maybe you have an idea that you've been circling around, you can't quite nail it. Or maybe you've been starting something and you feel stalled or you feel stuck. Sometimes the best thing we can do instead of telling ourselves to do more is to step back and look at the problem that we're solving. I like to call it having an itch. What do you do when you have an itch? You scratch it. So kids not feeling good about themselves after losing their hair to chemotherapy, that was my itch. That was that thing that I saw that needed to be scratched. So I started Headbands of Hope, which provides headbands to kids with cancer for every headband sold. That's my scratch. That's my solution. So when we're thinking about writing your mission statement or what you want to live for, whether as a person, as a business, what is that itch and how can you be the one to scratch it? So instead of thinking about what you want to create or do, trust me, we'll get to that. Let's first think about the problem that you want to solve, because the problem is always first and the product is always second. So I'm going to stop there for today. I know that there's a ton of comments right now, and I haven't been able to read and speak at the same time, but I'm going to pause and start going through the comments and bring some of them up here. So I love this. People like the inspiration from frustration. That is great. Niche is an itch. Scarlo, I love that. Okay, so there's a few comments coming up here. Oh, thank you guys. This is great. Okay, so if you guys have any technical questions, let me know. A few people are asking about the signing up, the first 500 users to sign up for Bright Pages. That is going to be in the comments. Kathy is putting that in there. Let me see what else you guys have. Someone did today's prompt already. Love it. Is there a code or is it automatic? There is a code. So Kathy will have that code in the comments if you want to join Bright Pages for the year. Let's see. Oh, also, let me put this up real quick. Some of you have already done this, but I like to text out just like simple tips of motivation each day during the challenge. So you can go ahead, text me the word challenge to 704-228-9495. All right, still coming in the comments really quick. You're giving me so much awesomeness to think about. Okay, so I'll continue to kind of scroll through here. Kathy's going to be in there answering some of the questions, and you guys are really just like making my day right now. Let me know in the comments right now if you guys are still chatting in there, if you have any ideas of the problem that you want to solve. Maybe you're already circling around it. Maybe you already know. Someone said, oh, beautiful Jess. Oh, did your journaling this morning. Thank you, Chris. Will this be available again so you can listen? Yep. The replay will be in this group. And then hopefully these will all be turned into Business on the Bright Side podcast episodes as well. So go ahead and subscribe there. Yep. Today is a new day to start. Okay. Someone said, for someone that already has a business, would you say this course is relevant to them? So if you're referring to Bright Pages, so this isn't as much of a course as it is as a reflection journaling platform. So Bright Pages, like you see now, if you guys have already started your first prompt today, you'll get a daily prompt that is in there or it's emailed to you. But one of the cool parts of what we do is prompt pathways. So there's different interests. Right now, you don't have access to prompt pathways under the free plan. But if you're one of the first 500 people to sign up, you'll get access to prompt pathways. Let's see. Everyone keeps wanting me to write a book about my life. I just don't know when or where to start. Thank you. Totally understand. This is like where this came from. Actually, and this is a really good point. So sometimes when we're not sure what we want to do or create, listen to what you're always asked for. If someone's always telling you like, you should write a book or you should be a speaker or you should talk about this or start a blog about this, maybe that's the thing that you should create. And so if people keep telling you to write a book and if you like writing, then maybe that's what you want to do. There's actually a book writing pathway on Bright Pages that is guided 21 days to help you write your book. Let's see. Love this. Trusting that frustration can be an indicator and a point as to what is right. Absolutely. And I love the graphic on your profile page, Suzanne. Lisa wants to tackle food waste and hunger. I love using the daily prompts. Oh, someone said that they want to help women dress for success. I love that. So keep thinking about what is the problem that you want to solve. And then as we keep moving forward in these journaling questions, you'll be guided towards how you are uniquely going to solve it. What's the risk? And then all of these journaling questions are going to prepare you on Friday for actually putting the pen to paper and creating that mission statement. So if you haven't already, download the workbook for this challenge, and that shows you like what your homework is. I know homework has a bad stigma, but I promise it's going to be fun homework. Okay. Someone else just said, oh yeah, Book Pop Workshop. So that is my course for women who want to get their nonfiction books published. So if you do want to write a book, Kathy can put in the link there, bookpopworkshop.com. Let's see, my vague idea. I personally love kids and teenagers, and I think they're a blessing and so cool. I see parents that are frustrated and don't know how to connect with them. That is a really spot on problem, especially now with virtual learning and a lot of teens being home. I find that super interesting. Let's see. Problem that I want to address, but get stuck at confidence that there are enough people who want a solution, are willing to pay for it. It's a cycle that kills creativity. Confidence is definitely can make or break your creativity. I like to tell myself in the morning when I'm writing on Bright Pages or just having that moment, I have my creator hat on. I don't have my agent or my marketing or like whatever hat on, because when you're trying to create and write something and you're also trying to think about how to position it, it's not going to come out well. So this is a really great thing. Let's see. I want to increase the number of women of color certified run coaches, redefining who we see as experts in the run industry. That is amazing. I love it. Someone just said, I love Headbands of Hope. Can I sell them in our yoga studio boutique? Absolutely. We would love that. You can go to headbandsofhope.com and there's like a wholesale form right there. I saw a need for mindset books for kids in the hospital. Released my book a few years ago, working on continuing to spread the word. That's amazing. Let me know what the name of your book is. I would love to read it and buy it for some of the kids that we work with in the hospital. Okay. So some people asked about the first 500 people to sign up for Bright Pages. So right now you guys have a free membership to Bright Pages for the duration of this challenge to get the daily prompts. But if you want to go ahead and get Bright Pages for the year, Kathy put the link in the comments and you can use this code right here. And so you can have Bright Pages for the year, daily prompts, tagged entries, email replies. For me, the email part of it, I think, was one of the bigger things that I wanted to create, because it's one thing to just say that you're going to journal. It's another thing to have an email in your inbox with the prompt Monday through Friday that you can just respond to and kind of make it easier. So you can go ahead and do that. Let's see, reducing the stigma of mental illness. Oh, and the book, greatlikeyou.com. I love that. And I recognize you from Instagram. So I am glad that you're here. Okay, so last one, educating the next generation about where their food, fuel, and fiber come from so they can make more informed decisions as consumers. I love it. Okay, so let me go back here. Okay, so if anyone is new, make sure that you've checked your inbox and you're activated on Bright Pages so you can get all the prompts for this challenge. And people can still join. And so if you want some friends and family to join you, you can go ahead and send them the registration link. Kathy can put that in the comments as well and have them join for the rest of the week. So make sure that you finish today's prompt. And then on Friday, we will be putting together your mission statement, and you'll get the rest of the prompts each day this week. And if you feel inclined, post in the group if you want to share the problem that you want to solve, or if you haven't shared your words of 2021 yet that are in your workbook, you can do that as well. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. And you guys are great. I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place.